Hey everyone, it's Carrie. How are you? I am jumping on. I want to give you guys some thoughts about how you are really slamming the door on money and money flow. Last week, I did that front door challenge. If you were here in the group and you participated in that, you know that we were talking all about the front door. I'm just going to make sure that this is actually working and that you can see me. Okay, good. So I did a front door challenge, a bunch of live videos about your front door and about calling energy into you. And it was so fun. You guys were awesome. Everybody was participating so much, lots of interaction, lots of feedback. And I always learn so much from doing those kind of things from you. I've been thinking through watching what people do, answering the questions, and there's been a few things that have been popping up and coming up to mind that reminded me that there's really a little bit more to what we did. And so that's why I wanted to jump on and share this video with you to talk about 7 different ways, and there's probably more, but 7 that I can count, ways that you're actually slamming the door on that money flow, right? That challenge was called Opening Your Door to Money for a reason. And we put some cures and some enhancements in place around our front doors that were all about calling energy to us, right? Also, we wanted to raise the vibration of whatever was passing in and out through that entrance so that when it gets into you, the energy is already high vibe. The people who come in are a higher vibration. The opportunities that come your way, really high vibration, bringing the best to you. All those cures help to put that in place. But the thing that I thought to mention, or at least drive home in a deep enough way, was how those cures and those adjustments that we put in place around the front door are really an anchor that are helping to hold the new you in place, right? Your new energy, your new vibration, the new patterns that you want to put in place, the new behaviors that you want to have, the new way that you want to show up in the world. Those cures that we put in place and those enhancements that we put in place, that's really one of the key factors involved in placing those. We place them with the intention that we're doing something different, that we're calling in something new, that we're inviting something in a different way than we have before. So Feng Shui isn't just about placing cures or moving furniture around. It's very much about aligning our thoughts, our words, our actions, and our surroundings all together so they're all sending the same message, moving forward in the same direction, all keeping us on track with the same desire and calling the right kind of energy to us. And so I've seen, as we've been talking, I've talked to a lot of you offline about the program and changes that you've made. I've noticed a lot of conversations going on. A lot of you have private messaged me with things that are going on. And I see kind of different ways of some people taking this totally to the next level, which is great, of, using those enhancements, placing them, but also showing up and doing things differently, which is what the universe is really responding to. It's responding to that different you, that different vibration, that different action that you're taking. And I also see other people who have put the changes in place, put some enhancements and some cures in place, and they're kind of just like, okay, I put the flowers in there, why isn't anything changing, right? So it's all a mix. It's a blend of the two things, and it's really not just placing things to call energy or to shift energy. It's about placing things and also showing up in a different way, and having those things in place to remind you how you're showing up. I remember 30 years ago, I remember my dad was a smoker, and he had decided he was giving up smoking, and one of the tools that was suggested to him was to, if you carry your cigarettes in this pocket, now carry them in the other pocket, because you want to create a different thought pattern, a different action that makes you think twice, that makes you do something differently, and it will make you think and help shift the behavior. It's kind of what some of these anchors are that we put in place, kind of what some of these enhancements are. So if you've placed these things, but you're still showing up in the same way and responding to the environment in the same way, or to opportunities, or to money in the same way, you're probably not going to see a lot of results from the work that you did. Sure, you're going to drive past your house and look at that front door and say, that looks amazing. And you're going to feel that kind of higher vibration energy. And sometimes that can be enough to really create a shift and help you, notice something different, something more, something better. But if you also show up differently in response to your energy around money, respond differently to the way opportunities are coming to you, you'll really sense the change. You'll understand what I'm talking about as I go through, these different seven examples that I think have come up for me as I've been talking with several of you. One of the most important things I think is that, number one, some people just aren't recognizing the abundance as it's showing up in nature, right? It's not just about cash coming through the door, finding money on the ground. It's about noticing abundance in all of its forms, in all of the ways that it shows up. So for example, something might show up with different specifications than what you had in your mind about what you wanted to call in. Right? It might not show up as cash. It might not show up as clients. It might show up as a gift. It might show up as an opportunity, or a different type of offer. And being aware and being open and kind of widening your definition of what abundance is, what prosperity is, what prosperity looks like, is really a big factor. And approaching that in a totally different way will really make you see what is going on in a certain way, and also make you show up differently. So when you start noticing more all of these unexpected gifts, all of this unexpected abundance, maybe you see that your flowers are blooming much more than there were before. Unexpected abundance, unexpected energy. Allow that to go into you and really raise the vibration. That response is what the universe is responding to. So pay attention to all the ways it shows up and honor it and respect it. Maybe it's not something that shows up as a free gift, but it's something that shows up with tons of value, right? So pay attention to all the ways it can come into you or come at you as a new opportunity. Number two, I think it's all about not honoring what you've received, right? So not showing up fully. So, for example, when I did that free series, the free front door challenge, some people showed up. They showed up every day. They watched every video. They did all the action prompts. They did all the changes. Others watched a little bit of it, got a takeaway from it, and felt pretty good about that. So there's going to be a difference in the results that you get based on how much energy and effort you put into those changes, right? So here's something that was, any kind of resource that's available to you. When you show up and you appreciate it and honor it and use it to the fullest potential, you're putting energy into it. That's what the universe is responding to. It's responding to that. So the more you put into those free gifts that show up, the more excitement you show about the $5 that you found on the ground, the more you honor how those opportunities, how that abundance is showing up, the more the energy will, respond to you. It's a really big deal. There's gold in all of the videos that I shared last week. And if you're only picking nuggets from it and not really going in and finding all of the blocks of gold, then you're missing out on the opportunity and also missing out on the potential. I had people private messaging me, with all different responses. Some people were private messaging me and saying, we spent the weekend making these changes, showing up differently. We are usually super busy on the weekends and never have time to really put energy and attention on a project like this, on the front door. And we changed. We showed up differently this weekend, and so much came out of it, right? The front door is way better. Their relationship is way better. Like all of the things that came out of it because they showed up differently. That's what I want you to get out of this. These 7 different ways that you can choose to show up differently around the work that you're doing, around the opportunities that come your way, and around your the potential that you see in all of the abundance that's out there. Others were messaging and saying, I haven't finished the videos yet. I haven't really put too much time into it. So you can see the difference in the results and the way that how you're showing up to do the work is actually slamming the door shut, right? The universe, on one hand, they're responding so fully because not only has that person done the physical work around their space, not only has that person shown up differently, but they are feeling really good about it. And so their vibration is so much higher. Again, it's all about aligning, right? So they're raising themselves up and the universe is responding to that higher vibe, and they're going to get more and more of it. Whereas the others who, I haven't watched the video yet, I haven't done it yet, they're kind of putting the brakes on the process, the flow. Let's see. Hi, Susan. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm reading from my notes, so I can't see if you're commenting, but I'll check back in. If you guys have questions, go ahead and put them there in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer them before we end today. So, you know what? Number 3, this is a big one. Not noticing the abundance or the gifts or the money that's showing up when it's staring you in the face. And I have the perfect example of this. So, think about the number of times where something was gifted to you or put right in front of you and you didn't see it, you didn't receive it, you didn't acknowledge it, you didn't act on it. So I have a group that I've been working with. This is a private membership group that I've been working with since January in another element. It's a paid membership group. These people showed up every month. We talked about different topics. Several times throughout the course of this 6 months that we worked together, I threw something free out there. Something big, something free. I'm talking about things that were valued at $500, $2,000, or even more. Right out there. No questions asked, no strings attached, nothing. This is my gift to you. The first time I did that, one person took me up on the gift. The second time, 2 people took me up on the gift. And I decided that I really wanted to make sure that this gift was received, or at least people understood that it was available to them. So I, spoke to people in different manners. Some people I sent an email to, in addition to a post, in addition to a private message. And it's amazing how many people didn't see it. They just simply didn't see it in front of them. Free gift, all yours. My gift to you. It's free, like all the ways that I said it, and they didn't see it, didn't take the universe up on it, didn't acknowledge, didn't appreciate it. Even to the fact that one person, I private messaged the information and said, here it is right here, read through this. And they messaged back and said, I can't afford this. I said, it's free. It's free. I'm giving it to you. Please take a look at it. Read it again. Read it in detail. It's free. If this resonates with you, show up and you get it for free. So I want you to pay attention to the ways that you're not even seeing what's put in front of you and not acknowledging all the gifts that are showing up. I can guarantee that it's happening, because out of those 10 people, for 8 of them not to see it when it was repeated multiple ways, multiple times, is just amazing to me. Slow down, take it in, allow, receive, acknowledge. That's what the universe is responding to, right? It's responding to the flowers you put outside too, but it's responding to your different behavior, to your excitement, to your acknowledgement, and to what you're putting your attention on just as much. And that part of it is just as important as all the other work. Does anybody resonate with any of this? Let me check over and see if you guys have any questions or comments. So let's see. Yeah, I'm using the computer for two different things, so good. All right, so I don't see any questions. If you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in there. Here's another way that I see this coming up. You know, something is presented to you and you're focusing on the cost of it versus the value or versus the quality of it, right? So I want you to stop looking at that price tag all the time and instead approach money, approach expenses, approach investments from a different way. The universe is going to respond to that, right? It's going to start to see the things that you prioritize, whether it's cost or whether it's value, and it's going to put more of it in front of you. So, you know, think about the value that you're getting from whatever it is that you're putting money into. You are, you know, maybe you're investing, is it worth the time that somebody else is going to be investing in helping you with something? Is it worth the quality of the products that are, you know, that something is made of as you invest into it? Is it handmade versus coming from a sweatshop, right? You know, think about the value added to that additional cost. Look at those details rather than just the price tag. When you start to do that, you again are opening up more flow, you're giving it a few more minutes to settle into you for that energy, that money, that value, that opportunity to come in and for you to receive it. It's such a powerful shift to make. It doesn't mean that you're still going to buy it. It just means that you're going to pay attention to the value of it a little bit more. And that's what the energy starts responding to, right? Where attention goes, energy flows. And that's where it's going to go. So pay attention to your response to something. You know, that person who responded when I sent the free offer to them, you know, in perfect honesty, I sell a lot of stuff. I'm up here promoting my products and my services a lot of times, so I can understand why you're like, whoa, nope, I'm not going to buy. That's fine, but if you take the time to look, you might find details that are really important, like it's free, or you might find details that help you clarify what you want or allow the universe to see what your priorities are, and allow you to receive something different. Maybe you're not going to buy that product, but you might receive something different that is just as valuable by slowing down and taking the time to pay attention to it. So, and in the same light, so Susan, you say it resonates with you. Yeah, it's true. It's just, you know, it's the same thing. If you just give it a little bit more time, pay a little bit more attention to what the value is versus the cost. You know, it's the same thing. This is kind of related, but, you know, if you start to consider money as an investment, so not just always think about how money is coming to you, right? That's what we were doing. We were trying to open up the door and get money to come to you. There's many opportunities where you can spend money and it becomes an investment, right? An investment that comes back to you. If you're thinking about only the cost of something and not thinking it in terms of the investment that you're making, you are, you know, again, missing the opportunity. Remember, we talked about how money has to flow, energy has to flow. So money comes in, it goes out. It has to keep circulating, right? And so if you think about how, you know, you're receiving this money and then you're taking some of that money and investing it, and it will come back to you in a different format, in a different value. And also how, as you invest it, you're supporting others in being able to have money, have financial freedom. Think about that circulation. Think about that flow. Don't just look at the price and say, I can't afford that. That is showing up in a lot of different ways. First, it's an old pattern of, I'm not worthy of this. And it's an old pattern of, I don't trust myself to use this money wisely, right? So you see how you're kind of putting the roadblocks up again and saying, hold on, I better hold on to this money, or I don't trust the flow enough to release some of it. it's, I feel very strongly that Feng Shui is an investment in so many things. Not only is it an investment in yourself and in helping to switch and change some of these patterns that keep you stuck where you are, but I think it's an investment in your work, and what you bring to the world. When you feel more energized by your surroundings and you step out into the world, you have more energy to give, right? And so, and also to think about your home, the space, you probably write a huge check each month to your mortgage. It's a huge investment. It's your biggest investment. It's the place you spend your most time in, having the biggest energetic impact on you. When you invest in it, you're investing in yourself. When you invest in Feng Shui or in switching the energy of your space, you're investing in yourself. You're investing in your work. You're investing in your home. So to really take a look at those things, it's not just money out the door. It's just not just money wasted. Think of it in terms of the investment, of the value, and of what it can bring back to you. Think of that. It's so important. I think it's, number 6, what is it costing you to not act? I think people don't think about the cost of not doing anything at all, right? So if you're stepping into your home every day and you're like, it's okay, it's fine, it's been like this for 15 years, it'll stay like this for another 5 more, but you're also wanting change, wanting new, wanting different, feeling stuck. Or if you step into a home every day where you're like, I feel amazing, right? That changes the energy. That changes your ability to show up. There's a cost to that it's okay, it's fine kind of feeling. It doesn't allow you to show up as fully in all the parts of your life. It doesn't allow you to show up more powerfully in your relationships. One of the conversations that I was having with somebody offline this week who was working on their front door was talking about the adjustment that it made in her relationship. They showed up together and did this work together over the weekend, made these big changes to their front door that powerfully impacted their relationship as well. And that was not something that they saw coming or thought about or even had set the intention for, but it's one of the powerful residual benefits. Like if you think about that drop in the water and that ripple effect, how one change, one shift can spread out and impact all the different parts of your life, that's how powerful it is. So when you're thinking about money coming in and money going out and spending money and thinking about whether or not to invest in something or not invest in it, I want you to think about what the impact is, what the cost is of just staying exactly where you are, of not doing anything different, of not changing these patterns that you've set up day after day, right? If you're opening the front door and you're inviting it in, but then you have this pattern in place that, kind of causes you to shut the door and send the money away. If you're not fixing that, there's a cost involved. It's impacting you. Your ability to attract and hold on to money. How many years can you do that? How long can you be missing out on that financial flow before it becomes worth it to spend a few extra dollars or to invest in some way on something that makes it different, that supports you in showing up differently, right? That's really what this whole, topic is about. All 7 of these are really ways where you might have a pattern in place where you've been showing up one way your whole life and the results that you get are a reflection of that, but there are all these other ways that you can shift that behavior, show up differently. How can you invest and support yourself to remember to show up differently? Those anchors in place that we place in different parts of the home are one way that are powerful to help keep you remembering who you are and what you're showing up for and how you're showing up and what's important, right? But they're also there to remind you to take a different path, to try a different route, to show up differently. It's really powerful stuff. Number 7, continuing to make the same choices and to show up in the same behaviors and patterns rather than shaking things up is really preventing you from shaking up the energy that's coming towards you. All of these things that we've talked about are patterns in place. They're ways of behaving. They're ways of showing up, right? If you have continuously shown up for something and then kind of backed off and not carried through on all the things that were offered, not shown up fully to a program or to a class or to a relationship or to your job, that is impacting how what the universe is sending back to you. So when you say no to something over and over again, you're sending a message out. When you close the door and step back or hit the pause button over and over again and really think about it, you are sending a message to the universe, and it responds to that, and it sends you that same thing again. So, the way to really create shift and change in your life is to really change those behaviors, to show up differently, to invest differently, to do something different, a different behavior, a different path is what the universe will respond to. Obviously, different energies within the home will also signal that. But when you can line up those, changes within the home that line up with the behavior changes, it's really impactful, and it sends this whole new path of opportunity to you. Once the universe sees that you mean business, like I've changed my front door, it looks more authentic, it looks more beautiful, it's more high vibration, it makes me feel more special, and I'm showing up in the world that way too, then the universe really starts to respond. So, I want you to think about ways that you are either receiving the energy that's coming to you or stopping it from flowing, right? We did a lot of work to get the energy to flow in your direction. Now it's about behavior and different patterns and receiving it and responding to it differently. It's a lot about being willing to receive. It's about trusting that it's all flowing in the right direction. It's about allowing. Such a powerful process. But this energetic work really all aligns with not just doing physical things in your environment, but taking different actions, taking inspired actions that align with the new you, the new thing that you want, the new level, the new money flow, right? It's if you start receiving free things, free gifts, and appreciating them and honoring them and putting energy into them, that will expand, and then you'll be receiving even more, right? Then it turns into cash, then it turns into clients, then it turns into opportunities. So pay attention to what is coming to you. There are lots of ways that old patterns can keep you stuck in place and keep you getting the same results over and over again. There are lots of ways that your behaviors, your thoughts, your words, your actions can keep you stuck. Even though you've made changes in your surroundings, the real power comes in doing something different than you've ever done before, right? How have you been doing it before? How can you show up differently now? If you're ready to show up differently, the UPLEVEL program that I'm offering is getting ready to start. We start on Tuesday. This program is really geared to show you the energetic centers in your home and the ones that are most important, have the biggest impact on you energetically, so that you can make shifts and changes there that support you energetically, that call energy into those parts of your life, but also make those behavior pattern changes, change habits, put new habits in place so that you can show up in a more powerful way and receive more powerful results, different results than you've received before, right? This is all about up-leveling your life. So the UPLEVEL program is about to get started. I'm leaving the price at $540 for this session. And I have some amazing bonuses that I'm offering, including one-on-one strategy sessions with me, room-by-room checklists, and even a Bagua review of your space. So it's very powerful stuff. And if you're ready to do things differently, to up-level, to make sure your surroundings are supporting this new place that you're going to change things up, take a look at the UPLEVEL course. I'm going to post the information in the comments, and if you guys have any questions about it, please go ahead and reach out to me. Hi Marlene, how are you? Thanks for joining. I'm just going to flip back over before I end and see if anybody had any questions or comments. Yeah, so Susan, you run into that with your small business. Yeah, it's true. Like, there's so many ways that this can show up, right? Where are you willing to invest? So Marlene is asking about whether or not there's a payment plan for the UPLEVEL program. I'm happy to talk to you offline about that. I can certainly set that up. I do have it set up as one payment right now, but I'm happy to set up a 2-payment plan. Hi Denise, how are you? For those of you who are jumping on, I talked about 7 ways that you are energetically stopping the money. In that free front door challenge that we did a couple weeks ago, where we were trying to call energy and money towards us, those changes that we made to our front door are one way to do that, right? To send a new energy, to create a new vibe that energy is passing through, so it raises it up. But then, I'm seeing lots of ways that people are kind of putting the brakes on that. Not in not doing the physical work to their environment, but just stepping back into old patterns. So go back and listen to the replay of this. There's some really powerful stuff for you to think about how you're showing up, whether you're showing up fully, how you can show up differently, because that is really what the universe is going to respond to. And that's when you'll start to see a different energy, a different opportunity come in your path. So take a look at that. Take a look at the UPLEVEL program. And thanks for listening in, you guys. I'm really happy to have you here. Take care.